You've all heard by now Joe Biden's statement. I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or for Trump, then you ain't black. There's a little game I like to play in terms of intellectual honesty when judging somebody's reaction, their outrage, or however it is that they respond. It's called, if the shoe was on the other foot, how would you behave? So what if his presidential opponent, Donald Trump, had stated the above? Would the media reaction be as tame and forgiving as it's been? Now, before I get into the media's dealings with Donald Trump, I'm going to tell you that I don't think that Joe Biden meant to be offensive. I don't think he's racist, and I think that he was just being sassy and playful. Every single one of us has said something similar that we wish we could take back. Everybody except for perhaps the most politically correct individual in the world who essentially keeps their thoughts bottled up really tight in liquid rage and allows some of it to seep out only when directed at their ideological enemy, protected in their venomous pressure release by mob approval, aka see most of Twitter. But in terms of what it demonstrates about Joe Biden, I don't think that he demonstrates the judgment necessary to be elected to the highest position in the world. It shows me that he's doddering and old, and intellectually he's completely lost his fastball. And that's putting it kindly. Also, it's further weight on the scale of baggage that is going to make the Democratic Party drop him from the ticket before the November elections. He just can't keep doing this. They know that they're going to lose in a massive landslide. They at least have to stem the destruction that's going to be done to them. Also, you know who's most excited about his F-up? It's not the Republicans. It's not even the Trump campaign itself. It's Stacey Abrams and Kamala Harris, both of whom I find about as likable as murder hornets. It also adds dramatic pressure for Joe Biden to pick a black VP female candidate to appease the masses of voters that he might have lost with his statement. There has to be some sort of appeasement, and that puts those two out in front over Amy Klobuchar. This is the identity politics where diversity is valued far more than competency and will leave our nation bereft of the leaders that we need to lead us. It's the same thing as choosing a mate, who you marry, because they need to be a certain religion. It reduces the number of potential candidates that you would be the best fit for. That's happened to me. Also, I hate the fact that we've given such importance to skin color. Politically, it seems to me that we move further and further away from Dr. King's pleas not to judge his 4 little children by the color of their skin, but rather by the content of their character. Some of the most elegant words ever stated in the English language. All we are doing here is amplifying the racial divide in this country instead, rather than uniting America under the banner of the freedoms that this country has chiseled out of the stone of what is normally human domination over one another, over the stone of autocracy. But on to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble. Let's put that shoe on the other foot and let's pretend that Donald said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Would we get the same muted response from the New York Times and CNN and the other usual suspects? Let's take a look at some imaginary but highly plausible future reactions. Imagine Don Lemon on CNN. Hell, he's already called Donald Trump a racist.
Hold on. Sorry. That was good, sorry.
And I found this in the New York Times opinion page, written by Mara Gay. If you didn't know in your heart Donald Trump was a racist, this is your final proof. And for us, the cherry atop our Orange Man Bad Narrative Sunday. The Washington Post tweeted the following. This pretty much ends our internal debate as to who is a worse person, Donald Trump or the austere religious scholar Abu al-Baghdadi. Chris Cuomo said,
"That was the most asinine statement of leadership I have ever heard."
And from Elizabeth Warren,
Race matters, and we need to say so.
And this from MSNBC. This statement by Donald Trump proves the systemic racism and oppression faced by blacks throughout America today. It allows us to continue to push our narrative of victims and the oppressive nature of America. So question, is the reason they've given Uncle Joe a relative pass on this because it interferes with their orange man bad and racist narrative? Or is it because it's all what they were secretly thinking? Look, we all know that if Donald Trump had stated this, the media would be up in arms and going crazy. It would be story after story, opinion after opinion piece with the presupposition embedded in it that Donald Trump is definitely a horrible racist, and just to what extent black voters would flee for their ridiculous support of him. They'd be denigrating black conservatives like Candace Owens and Tana Sowell, asking them how they could support such an evil, vile, and racist man. Whoopi Goldberg and the ladies at The View would be kicking up their heels in disgust and spitting at the camera. Just look at how the leftist media denigrates Trump at every single opportunity, tries to misframe what he says into making him seem horrible, stupid, evil, racist. I mean, the man talks about, in the context of UV light killing the virus, about the ability to inject it into the body somehow. And the media, because he used the term disinfectant, the media goes out of its way to make it seem like he's proposing drinking bleach. Meanwhile, Biden says something that could actually truly be construed as racist, and it's crickets out in media land. And you want to tell me that the press is fair? That they're even-handed? If anyone, not only Trump, who was on the right-hand side of the aisle, were to say what Uncle Joe said, they would get absolutely dogpiled by the media, by people on Twitter. But you put a D after somebody's name, Democrat, and they seem to get a golden ticket, a get-out-of-jail-free card. I think that we should all try to be as accurate as possible when we're evaluating situations. It's intellectual honesty and fair discourse that keep us moving in the right direction. But please don't try to tell me that the media is fair or intellectually honest. They're not even news anymore. They are propaganda outfits. They have a dog in this fight. So patooey to CNN, patooey to the Times and all the usual suspects. Now, if you disagree with me, if you think I got something wrong here, you disagree with my analysis, or you agree with my analysis, leave a comment below. And have a fantastic day. Peace and blessings. And remember, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Donald Trump said that. I want to hear your thoughts on what the media would say if he said it. Give me some quotes. Peace out, everybody.